Last week on Bronze Medal Moms, we had our much asked for coffee talk.
Oh, I love our coffee talks. And I love that people love them.
I know, me too.
So this week, we're switching gears and diving into a headline that hit a nerve with a lot of moms out there.
Yes, we are unpacking the Ashley Tisdale mom group story and getting real about meme moms, exclusion, and why motherhood can sometimes feel like high school all over again.
This episode is going to be so fetch.
You know I don't get that reference. Hey there, friends. Welcome to Bronze Medal Moms, the podcast where we aren't going for gold, we're going for bronze on the daily. I'm Amy.
And I'm Amanda, and we are here to remind you that you don't have to be perfect to show up, survive, and even thrive in motherhood. Welcome back to Bronze Medal Moms, the podcast for moms who are doing their best, lowering their expectations, and still somehow ending the day exhausted.
We are not winning gold. We're not even sure there was a competition, but we did show up, mostly.
And today we're talking about something that really hit a nerve for a lot of moms recently: mean mom mentality.
Okay, so quick question, Amanda. Have you seen this viral mom group conversation happening right now online about Ashley Tisdale and her famous mom group she's in?
Yes, seriously, just popping popcorn and watching this pan out. She basically just said, I'm not doing this anymore. Very bold. Very bold.
Right. She wrote an essay that was published in a paper about leaving this mom group because it started feeling like she was being left out of this. Well, it was a supportive village, and then it got weird, and she was being excluded from things.
Yeah,
And
group text she wasn't on,
yeah,
activities she wasn't invited to, and it's that weird, slow realization of like, oh, I'm not in this anymore.
yeah, she described it as toxic, mean girl energy and even compared it to high school.
Which is rude. We've already survived high school. Nobody wants high school.
Right. And the story, it went viral. I mean, one, because she's famous and some of the moms in this group are also famous.
True.
But I think it went viral because so many moms read it and said, oh my gosh, I can relate. That's happened to me.
Yes, this is not just celebrity news. It's a reflection of how many moms feel like this in real life when friendships shift, groups feel exclusive, and the interactions, they actually start to hurt instead of help.
Right. So let's clarify something, before we really get into it. When we say mean moms, we're not talking about these one-off awkward moments.
Exactly. Okay. Someone forgetting to invite you to coffee once because their kid threw up in the car. That's just motherhood. That's not being mean.
Right. We're talking about patterns, dynamics, and kind of that slow emotional shift where you start to feel like you don't belong there anymore. Or sometimes it is just blatantly in your face and they don't want you there anymore.
Right. You can tell the difference.
Right.
Hopefully we can all tell the difference between a mom being a mom and a mom being me.
Right. So I actually experienced this secondhand this past weekend.
Do tell.
Yeah. So I was at this junior theater festival and I was in the restroom. And again, there's 6,000 musical theater kids here at this big conference. And so there's lots of, young girls in the restroom. But there's a group when I come out, I'm washing my hands. There are 3 moms standing in the bathroom. And the one mom says, guess I'm not allowed to come to P.F. Chang's with everybody. And the other mom's like, what are you talking about? She's like, well, I asked if I could come to dinner at P.F. Chang's with the group. And so said that they would have to check and see if I was allowed. And
What?
then, yeah. And then the other woman said, what? Just come. That's dumb. Why are you even asking her? This mom, she doesn't run the group. But so and then the other mom was like, well, she was just being mean and she's excluding me. And they're doing all this drama and there's cussing involved. And my first thought was, there are young girls in this bathroom. Really? Now I know where they get it from.
Right, exactly.
Right. But I felt the dynamics of all of them. The one mom, because she felt like for some reason she needed to ask this other mom if she could come, which is probably the first mistake, right?
Which maybe, let's give her a benefit of a doubt. What if there was a head count?
Right. Exactly.
And they're reserving a table. I feel like that's totally appropriate to be like, hey, I know you're getting this group together and
Can I come?
reserving a
Yeah.
table. Is
Right.
there room for us?
Is there
Totally
room for
appropriate.
us? Right.
Maybe it was just
Um,
that.
but she didn't say, "Yeah, sure, come." Like, even if there's not room, we'll make room. She said, "I have to ask someone else." "Oh, this other person said, no, you can't." And so I felt
Like a hierarchy of
yeah,
moms.
I felt how awful that was, but then I also could relate to the other woman who was like, "Why'd you even ask? Just come. Like, she's not in charge of it, just come." Like,
Right. And if
um
they don't have room at your table, PF Chang's will still feed you.
right, right, like, but I get it, and I could feel all of that tension, and I went back to all of our theater moms who we had 0 drama, and I was like, "Man, I'm just so glad we don't have any of that." Like, it's so refreshing. So, if
Maybe
you
that's
are
because you're the leader and they're like,
yeah,
ooh, don't say anything to Amy. She'll get mad.
maybe they all talk about behind my back. That's fine. That's
No.
But I think you're right, though. There is a difference between certain right, like, friendships naturally end. There's always miscommunication happening. Um,
Well, and
sometimes
I think
there's
that's also something to be said. Like, you just kind of hit a really interesting point. Friendships end, but like, there's the old Girl Scout thing, make new friends, but keep the old. Like, just because you're ending a friendship doesn't mean it's dead forever. But a lot of times you're just friends because of what your kids do.
right.
So, like, if you've got these theater friends and all of a sudden Adelaide doesn't want to do theater anymore, you might see them a little bit, but you're not going to hang out as much.
Right, you're just not, and that's happened with a couple of women that I was really good friends with because their kiddos were in theater, and then they left the theater, and it's not that I don't like them any less or I don't wanna be around them, but my entire life revolves around being at that theater, and if you're not also at that theater, chances are I'm not gonna have time to see you as often.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
I think you're right.
I was just talking to somebody about this because they were talking about a different type of group and they're like, well, you don't really reach out to me anymore. And I was like, yeah, but think about it like you left a job.
Right.
Like if you left a job, you might like meet up with your old friends like the next month for lunch, but slowly that's going to fade
Yeah.
because you just don't do the same things anymore. That's
It's
okay.
certainly true, especially in this season as moms, like you said, your friends are almost solely based on your kids' activities.
So another interesting topic, though, I do want to bring up with these. Well, let's just deep dive
Yeah,
into this
do it.
bathroom conversation because I have an example I would like to share as well. We all have these examples. We do. The the assumption that the one mom is making that, well, I have to ask because she's against me, she's
Right.
doing these things. That also can cause a mean mom drama that is not there. That
Mhm.
can very easily happen. We had this situation, and I love this mom dearly, so I don't think she'll be upset if I share this conversation. But she, we had a volleyball group and we wanted to team and we wanted to get a gift for the coach. So I put all the moms on a text thread and I was like, hey, we're all getting a gift for the coach. Send me Venmo. Here's what we're thinking. Everyone like it, blah, blah, blah. Easy peasy. Well, come the championship, one mom comes up and was like, hey, so and so's really mad at you. And I was like, first of all, what?
Right.
Like, why? Please tell me why. And they're like, well, you left her off that chat. Was there a reason? She was the only mom you didn't include in that chat. Why did you do that? And I was like, what are you talking about? And turns out when I had typed in the numbers, I didn't have all the moms on my phone. So some of them I was just typing in the numbers fresh. I typed one number wrong. And so it went to nowhere. And then the person was just like, I don't care. They didn't respond like, hey, I don't know who these people are. They just didn't respond. So I didn't know any different. But the mom took it upon herself to think that I had ill intentions instead of just being like, hey, I don't think I'm on that chat. Why am I not on that chat? You know?
Right, exactly, and like you said, I always assume positive intent. Like, why are we automatically assuming you did it on purpose?
Right. Why are we assuming the negativity
Right,
and assuming there's a mom drama aspect to it
right.
rather than just going up and saying, hey, I'm not on that text thread, or hey, I didn't get invited to that party. Although I will say this is really funny. I have, and I do think I've got very thick skin anyway,
Yeah.
but I have been on a text thread where all of a sudden we're talking about something that they clearly talked about on a different text thread
Like
that I'm not
yeah.
on.
Yeah. Like the side chat. Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember realizing it that I was like, oh, that's new information to me. And then all of a sudden nobody responded. And I was like, oh, y'all are on another side chat. That's
Right.
fine.
Right. Well, and again, sometimes it's not intentional or to be mean. Like I am in a chat with two women who I'm really good friends with who live in the neighborhood. One I've known since Adelaide was a baby. The other I met when I moved in the neighborhood. I knew they would be great friends, so I connected all of us, right? We have a little
Nice.
chat with the three of us. But like they were chatting about something in the three-way chat with all of us, and I was like out of town, and it then moved to have nothing to do with me. They were like, I don't know, coordinating a porch drop off, or they were borrowing something from each other. So they took it out of ours and put it in their own little chat.
Yeah.
And then one night, my really good friend who I've known longer delivered a cocktail to the new friend, right? And I was like, "Where was mine?" She was like, "Well, I asked in the chat and you didn't answer. I thought you were out of town." I was like, "You didn't ask in the chat." Not being
And you're
sassy,
like,
like
you asked in
teasing
your
her.
own chat.
And she goes, "Oh, sorry. I put it in the chat with just her and I totally thought I was in the group chat." Right? I wasn't mad. I was teasing. Like, and that
Right.
happens, right? Like, I do that all the time. Like, "Oh, shoot, I thought I put this in the group. It wasn't in the group," you know? Like,
I think that's a big way to avoid the mom drama, because also we're dealing with moms who have a million and a half things in their brain,
mhm,
and worrying about everyone's emotions
yeah.
is not on the top of our list. So I feel like a really good way to keep the mom drama at bay is to always assume good intentions.
Yes.
Don't assume bad intentions on anyone's part, because if someone really has bad intentions, you'll know right away, and you're probably not going to have them in your mom group.
Right.
Because
Right.
they're not nice.
Because I think you're right, and we'll get into it here in a minute. There are actual mean moms, but I think the majority of the time, what feels mean is actually miscommunication, like assumptions being made, maybe even different priorities or unspoken boundaries, but that's not someone intentionally trying to be mean.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think first and foremost, give people the benefit of a doubt.
Yeah.
I'm very curious with the Ashley Tisdale situation. Before writing this essay, did she talk to anybody about this? Did she give anyone the benefit of a doubt? Is she the mean mom? Did she just put this out there? Because she knew she's a celebrity, and
Right.
she knew that the media was going to eat this up because it's about other celebrity moms.
Right. Right. Well, and then the other thing too, which as you dig into this Ashley Tisdale thing, you don't want to take away from how she's feeling. She may 100% be feeling left out
Sure.
and excluded. That also doesn't mean they're being mean and doing it on purpose.
Right. That might just be her feelings.
Right, which is valid. And so but then the other I don't know, and I don't know enough about it. I don't know this friendship, but anytime I am even uh, like kind of connected to any mom drama and then I learn about it, I'm like, well, why don't you just go to that person and ask or go to them and tell them this? Why are you talking to all of us? Like so
Right.
much could be accomplished if we would just be transparent with each other at first instead of maybe publishing it in a newspaper. I don't know.
Do you know what I always say to Rue whenever we talk about, because, she's 12. I mean, the
Mhm.
amount of girl drama that it pops
Yeah.
up, or tea
Right.
that gets spilled every day, is quite phenomenal. But I always tell her, I was like, you're not trying to date your friends. You
Right.
don't wait for your friend to call. You don't overanalyze what your friend is thinking.
Right.
Just call and
Right.
ask.
Well, and that's one thing I was gonna say too. You hear a lot of times, and I think you even said it earlier, like, well, why have you not reached out to me? okay, well, why haven't you reached out to me? Like, it
Right.
takes 2 people, and especially like you said, with moms, we are so busy, and really, even though we make time for ourselves, our lives are not our own as moms.
100%.
And so it does take like, it's not on one mom to always do the reaching out, like,
Do
uh
I wish I could reach out to everyone? Yes, of
Yes,
course.
yes. But, like, if you're sad that you're not going out on mom's nights a lot, start organizing a mom's night and invite people to it.
Exactly. Start your own thing.
Right, right. I do think as you dig into this, I think it's a little bit of both. I think there's probably some mean mom, but there's also probably just her, how Ashley's feeling, and there's no ill intent. Apparently, this mom group, a lot of them have known each other since preschool. Um, I don't know if
That's
that means
adorable.
yeah, like, so that also comes into the group. Like, we have a little mom text thread with several women in the neighborhood. We're all in it, but, like, a couple of them know each other better because their kids are, like, on the same baseball team, and they're gonna see each other way more, right? So, they're just naturally gonna be closer, and if they decide to go out for drinks, does that mean they're excluding all of us? No, that's not what that means.
No.
Right, right. Now, when it does get icky or when it drives me crazy is when, we may do mom things and one person is always too busy. They're like, "Oh, I can't. I'm too busy." I get that. Unless I see you out with other people. That's not like, don't tell me you're
I
too
think a
busy.
mean mom's just a liar.
Yeah, yeah. Like, don't tell me you're too busy when I see you out with other moms. Like, just tell me you don't want to hang out with us. It's fine. We don't care. But when you tell us you can't because you're too busy, and then we see you, we're like, wait a minute. You know?
Well, and also gossiping. I love a good gossip. I love not harmful gossip. If you're telling me something that is like an actual it's a serious secret, it's a vault. It ain't going anywhere.
Right.
If it's just whatever, that it's fun, I love to gossip. It's lots of fun.
Yeah.
Everyone loves it.
But yeah,
But if it's gossiping about another mom, especially anytime that you're bringing down another mom,
yeah.
if you're talking negatively and comparatively, like I've even had situations where, and I'm not saying that I'm not trying to toot my own horn here,
Sure.
but where I have caught myself saying something negative about another mom, but it's in a sense of like, hey, do we need to help her? Does she need help?
Yeah.
Because something's not right.
Right.
Something's seems off. She seems off. She seems tired. She seems whatever it is. I feel like that's a natural way to be like kind of talking crap about somebody, but it's to help them of
Right.
like legit, hey, how do we help this person because they're struggling? Not,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, did you see so and so? She's a hot mess today.
Right. 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 Because sometimes you're right. Real mean behavior can look like gossip or but when it's negative or when it's like judgment disguised as concern or when you did create the group chat and you on purpose meant to exclude somebody, you know,
Yes.
like that can't happen because and I've always said it since the time Adelaide was little. I've had a couple of mean mom experiences where they, kind of look at me up and down like, why are you here? Um, and I thought, who are we kidding? You've probably heard me say this, Amanda. I'm like, we're all just wiping butts trying to survive.
Yeah.
Don't act like you're not wiping a butt trying to survive the day, right?
Right.
Like,
Don't act like you didn't get pooped on today.
right, exactly. So I just don't get the mean mom piece. I get that people may not get along. Like, not everybody has to be friends.
Right.
Um,
And I think that'll kind of work itself out. Now, here's
sure.
an interesting one.
Okay.
This would be an interesting question. What if your child is really good friends with a mean mom?
Was just
Like,
going to say that. Yeah.
what if the kids are friends and then now you're around this mean mom a lot?
All the time. Or your kids really want to be good friends with someone and you just don't mesh with the mom. Like maybe they're not even
Yeah.
a mean mom, but they're not your people.
I've had that happen before, and it's honestly like I think it's easier when your kids get older, like mine are older, that I just don't go over there. Like when they have a play date, I don't go over and hang out.
Yeah.
But like with Raleigh, he's so little still. I have to go on all the play dates. I go to all
Yeah.
the birthday parties, all that stuff, you
Right.
know? So you
Right.
kind of got to just buck it up.
Right. Yeah, I think to me the most common mean mom is exclusion, which may not always be intentional, and also just kind of the judgment.
It's
It's
the
it's a
judgment,
silent judgment, you know? Um,
which
like,
also, again, back to the wifey and butts. Who do we think we are?
yeah, who do we
Why
think
is
we are?
any mom judging another mom?
Right.
Nobody has any idea what everybody else is going through. Nobody has any clue the burden that they see that they're like, oh, their life looks like one of my perfect examples that I always share this. So we live close to the house,
Mhm.
to our school. Of course, we live close to our house. We live close to the school. We live close to the school. And we'll walk. I'll walk with the kids. And the kids would have this was a while ago. We just had two. So the kids would have their scooters and I'd walk behind them and carry their stuff. And it was beautiful outside and all this loveliness. And I had a mom stop me and she's like, oh, I'm just so jealous of you sometimes. And I was like, why? And she goes, I just see you walking and you guys look so perfect when you walk home from school. And I was like, they are complaining the entire time.
If you had the volume turned up.
They are crying. They're like, my backpack's too heavy.
Yeah.
And if it's too hot, they come inside, they lay on the tile floor like, that was awful.
Well, which is a
And
great
I'm like, girl, you're fine. There's
it's
nothing
like a
glamorous
great
going on here.
right, it's a great metaphor though too, like social media, right? It's like the
Yeah.
highlight reel. They think they're looking at this, like, perfect scenario, and you're like, "No, they're complaining the whole time, it's awful."
No, it's
But I think the
terrible.
difference but I think the difference is a mean mom would be like would say, "Yeah, it's great, it's perfect. I don't know why
Right.
your kids don't walk home perfectly in this."
Yeah. Why don't you? If you
Right,
applied yourself, you could
why
do
don't you
this.
do it too, right? Whereas you're like, "Oh my gosh, no, it's awful." Like sharing that vulnerability with other moms, if you can do that, I think it's less likely than you're gonna have a mean mom scenario happen.
100%. I think if everyone is putting on a front and everyone, which I understand, if it's a brand new mom group and it is hard when you've got littles because they're not communicating. They're all it's really it's the moms are friends,
Right,
especially if you've got
right.
like a baby mom group. It's just the moms hanging out.
Yeah,
So you're just trying to help them with the socialization. I get trying to put your best face forward, like with any social
yeah,
thing. But I think especially as moms, we say this all the time, you have to lower the bar and open up. You will find if you open up now, don't be the one that walks in the room the first time and is like, life sucks. Because then
right.
you're a Debbie Downer. Nobody
Then you're
wants you.
down, right.
But but if you open up a little bit and you laugh about, I don't know, like my 9-year-old still doesn't tie his shoes. I
Right,
thought
or
that was ridiculous. And then I found out like I have 3 friends with their 9-year-olds the same way, and I have one friend who's got a 15-year-old, and they're like, no, apparently that's like a thing.
yeah.
Apparently it's a diagnosed thing now that some kids, their brains, it takes them longer to figure out how to tie their shoes.
Well, I don't even know if it's that. Like, Adelaide didn't tie hers forever, and I was the same way, but also, all their shoes nowadays were slip-ons.
Right.
Like, she didn't need to learn how to tie. Back in 1982, I they only had tie shoes. Like, I that was it.
Gonna retire your shoes at
Yeah.
3,
Velcro shoes weren't invented until I was a little bit older.
or you're not going to school.
Right.
Sorry, sucker.
Right, right. But
But
I
it's
think
true,
too
like, putting it out there, something even that you feel like you're quote unquote failing at or
right,
lacking in,
right.
once you put it out there, another mom is gonna see that. A mean mom is gonna harp on that and be like and explode it.
Yeah,
A good mom is going to support you and probably
yeah.
agree with you.
Because all kids throw fits. All kids have explosive diapers. Like, all kids, have their own developmental milestones. Like, there is no one perfect way for all.
No.
Yeah, and so I don't
But that's what I also think out there with the Ashley Tisdale thing, that if you have a problem, why put it out there so publicly?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it'd be like I see some people every so often go live in their stories and they're complaining, but why put it out there in the
yeah.
first place? What good is going to happen by you? You're trying to get an army together against this person is what you're trying to do.
Right, right. But then also on the flip side, I do feel for moms who do feel excluded or get excluded. I think it's awful and it's mean.
Right.
And maybe it's because I try to be, and I'm sure I've made mistakes. I'm sure I've accidentally become the mean mom like you by accidentally leaving someone off
That's
of
what
the
I'm
chat,
trying
right?
to think right now. I'm like, I wonder if I've accidentally excluded someone. I hope no one's listening right now and they're like, yeah, me,
Yeah,
bitch.
yeah,
But
Andy and Amanda, they're awful. Like, what are they doing? But
they think I'm a mean mom. They're probably not listening to
probably,
our
I mean,
podcast.
I really do try to be uber inclusive and raise Adelaide to be super inclusive, especially when it comes to birthday parties or going out. But I also, especially at this age, Adelaide's 12, and I really want her to be always inclusive and always thinking of others' feelings. But I'm also at this age not going to force her to invite all the kids just so someone's not left out. Like she's
Was
always,
a great example.
yeah,
Yes.
like if she only wants to invite two friends to her birthday party, we're just going to invite two friends to her birthday party. However, what we're not going to do, we're not going to talk about it and rub it in the face of all the kids who don't get invited.
Yes.
Right? Like we're not going to go to school and talk to all your friends about how excited you are for your party this weekend when we know you've only invited two of them.
Well, and I will say, I shout out to one of my good mom friends. We had this happen because it was the shift from we invited all the girls in Rue's grade, which we also had a very, very tight preschool. Rue has a very tight preschool friend group. And so for a while, we were inviting all the preschool kids and all the elementary kids, like as she got older. Well, then it shifted to she has a Girl Scout troop that she loves, and it was like 14 girls. So then now it's 14 girls. Well, then it shifted to less and less and less. And one year, she only invited, I mean, this last year, I think she had like 4 friends over. But which I like that. I like having just like a little close knit group. But one year it was down to like 8 kids. And one of my really good mom friends, she and I actually I think get along better than our daughters. But her daughter wasn't invited. And instead of my mom friend getting offended and all that, she came up and asked me, and she was like, "Hey, I saw Rue had a birthday party. Why wasn't my kid invited?"
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, "Honestly, we only did 8 people this time. She just wanted to keep it smaller. If you want, we can set up a play date sometime soon. But yeah, she just wanted to keep it super small this time." And the mom was like, "Oh, that makes sense."
Kudos to that mom because
Like,
she
so
totally
easy.
she totally could have gone the other way, told her
And it could have ruined our friendship.
it could and ruin the girls' friendship.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes, those moms will then tell the kid, well, they didn't want you there. They didn't invite you. They're mean.
Right. And
Right?
instead, Rue and this girl are still friends.
Yep.
It's still one of my closest mom friends. Like,
Yeah.
I love that she was just so bold and that she was willing to accept whatever answer it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. Well, Adelaide had that happen. She was, in a little friend group. And again, it's based around activities, right? So for sports kids, it's the team you're currently on. For theater kids, it's the cast
Right.
you're currently in, right? So she had a group of her and 2 other girls. It was a little group of 3. And we know how hard that can be because it's easy to do 2 versus 1 when you're a group of 3. And they hung out a lot. We did sleepovers with all 3 of them. But just by natural, I don't know, selection, Adelaide and one of the other girls, they just connected better and more on more things, right? They had more in common. And so Adelaide would want the one girl to come over sometimes without the whole group, without all 3. And I said, you're absolutely allowed to do that. You do not always have to get together as a group of 3. But
Groups of 3 is hard.
it is hard. But what you
A
can't,
friend triangle is really hard.
but then I also told her, I said, you can't lie to the other girl if she asks if you guys
Right.
had a sleepover. No, we're not doing that because that makes it worse. You're saying, yeah, we had a sleepover, right? Like we're not going to lie, but I'm also not going to expect her, like I said, to hang out with everybody all the time. But we're not going to lie either,
Well, I think that's the truth. Like being honest about it, being okay with any answer.
Mhm.
Because what I really think this mom was wanting, and I think I would be so bold if I knew my kid was left out of um a party or to something like that.
Yeah.
But what you're really wanting to know is, for lack of a better phrase, what's wrong with my kid?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Right. Like, are we not good
that's
enough?
not
Why
being
didn't you
like,
invite?
why don't you like my kid? It's
Right.
like, is my kid being a bully? Is
Yeah.
my kid bossy? Is my kid kind of a brat? Like, and as a mom, I think there's a gentle way of saying that as well,
Mhm.
of like, you know, your little boy has been playing really rough.
Yeah.
And so he just kind of needed a break from him, but we'll play again later. But right now we just need a little break because it was
Right.
a little too rough or
Yeah.
something like that. I think is very fine to say those things,
It's
but
yeah.
also you have to be you have to be ready to receive that information,
Right.
you
Which
know?
is hard because there have
Right.
certainly been in Adelaide's friend group, a girl here and there who tends to bring the drama and likes to create a little bit of drama and is a little bit more exhausting to hang out with. How do you tell that? How do you tell the mom that?
Right.
Like, that's hard,
That's
right?
hard.
So we just kinda, keep our distance, and just looking at Adelaide's friendships, she is really good friends with the girl who lives in our neighborhood. One, because of proximity, obviously,
Right.
but they just really get along and click. I mean, they really click. They never fight. There's no drama. They can even get mad at each other, and from a young age, they work it out. They don't, they can get annoyed. They work it out. Because I was thinking there's other girls in the neighborhood that she could be just as close with due to proximity. But that doesn't mean when they're together all the time, they're excluding other girls.
So I have to tell you a funny story that is, it's not about mean moms. It's
Okay.
about weird, like, I got weird mom vibe yesterday. It was so funny. So Roger has friends in our neighborhood. Raleigh even has friends in our neighborhood. And Rue's closest friends, they're close. They're like a drive away, but not a bike ride away. And she just
Yes.
doesn't have any in this neighborhood. And it's just kind of how life happened.
Yep.
Well, I was getting rid of, we have like a buy nothing site in our neighborhood, and Rue had this perfectly good ski jacket that she outgrew. And I was like, oh, I'll just put it on the buy nothing site, see if anybody needs it because it's cold.
Right?
Put it up there, and the mom was like, ooh, yes, my daughter needs this. My 12-year-old daughter totally needs this. I'm going to send her and her friends down to pick it up.
Yep.
They came and picked it up, and I was like, hey, where do y'all live? I was like, what was I thinking? So I had to write the mom and be like, hey, your kids probably think I look crazy, but I was actually looking for friends in the neighborhood for my daughter. And the mom was like, oh my God, that's so funny. I love it.
Right. Right.
It's like, oh my God. These
Right.
people are like, don't buy out of that house. That lady, that crazy lady lives in that house.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know. At the end of the day, I think motherhood is just really heavy.
It is. Okay, so I think we kind of covered this, but like basically, how do we respond to a mean mom situation? If we think we're in a mean mom situation, how do we respond without escalating things?
I really think the most important thing is what we've already mentioned is do not make assumptions.
Yes.
Don't make assumptions and just ask that person.
Don't assume ill will.
If I think, Amanda, you're ignoring me, I'm going to get a better response if I just ask you why you're ignoring me than if I go over and chat with four other women why they think you're ignoring me.
And really think about when you're doing that. You are trying to create an army. You're
Yeah.
creating an army against that person.
Yeah.
You're trying to get people to agree with you. And you might think, oh no, I want to see if they also have that similar situation.
Right.
But no, you're really trying to create an army. That's
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the biggest piece is just don't make those assumptions and then go straight to the source.
But then also don't remember you don't have to prove your worth to anyone.
Right.
If someone's bold and like, yeah, I just didn't really think we clicked, you can have your feelings hurt, but then go find your own group.
Yeah. Right.
Make your
Yeah.
own group. You're
Yeah.
gonna find somebody that clicks with you. You don't want to be wasting your time with someone that didn't click. It could be this whole Ashley Tisdale thing. Maybe she just didn't click with those moms and just needed a different mom group.
That's true.
That's
That's true.
fine.
And I'll also say, it just dawned on me, we've kind of skirted around it, but we didn't say it out loud because your your friendships rely so heavily on your season of life and what your kids are doing. Like you said, when your kids are babies and toddlers, you can pretty much choose your mom group.
Right.
Right. But then as your kids get older, your mom group is going to change. And so maybe that was starting to happen. Maybe in this Ashley, now I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe
Right.
they
We're not
we're,
Ashley
we're
Tisdale.
not no, we're not Ashley Tisdale experts. Maybe they were awful and they totally excluded her and that sucks. But maybe some of the moms in the group, their kids are doing soccer and they see each other every single weekend, and then
Right.
other moms aren't. That doesn't mean they're excluding you. It means their lives have been taken over by the same thing.
I still say this. I tell this story all the time. A girlfriend, she and I went to middle school together, then junior high, then high school, even went to Baylor together for a couple of years. But like we've been friends for a while. And I knew she lived in Austin. I'd seen her a handful of times when Rue was a baby, but like we're just doing different things. Well, I saw her the other day, when this happened at Hobby Lobby. She walked in and I go, "What are you doing?" And
Yeah.
she goes, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "Do you live near here?" And she goes, "Yeah, I live down the street." And I was like, "I live down the street." And she goes, "You do?" And I was like, "Yeah. Why aren't we hanging out?" And without skipping a beat, she goes, "Because we have kids that do different things."
Right.
And I was like, "Yeah, you're right."
You're right. Yeah.
And sure enough, like, we'll keep in touch that like her kids go to a different school. And if her daughter plays volleyball and the same, I'll be like, "Oh, hey, what team did your daughter make? I wonder if I'll see you this year." And it like that's going to be the extent of our friendship.
Right.
Even though we were closer friends growing up, excuse me, I can cut that out. Even though we were closer friends growing up, the extent of our friendship now is I'll see you at Hobby Lobby.
Yeah. Right.
And
Well,
that's fine.
right. Well, I'm in a friendship now with a girl I've known forever. She lives in my neighborhood. I think I've talked about it before. It's really easy for her to just come over and have a glass of wine in our like pajamas and slippers because we don't even have to get in the car. Right. That's the great thing. That doesn't mean though our other friends that we've been friends with for years that live 20, 30 minutes away, it doesn't mean we're excluding them. I
No,
didn't, you know? And on the flip side, if she goes out with her soccer mom friends or she stops to meet a friend for a drink after work, doesn't mean she's excluding me. Like,
I think we hit the nail on the head. You've got to assume you've got to assume good intentions.
yeah,
You have to. You have to give everyone the benefit of a doubt until they prove you otherwise. If someone really is a mean mom, they are going to say something mean to your face.
right, 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 right,
And then you'll know, and
right.
then you'll move on.
And can we also really quickly, before we kind of wrap all this up, can we also try to be the moms that don't allow the mean mom stuff to happen or boy,
Yes, what a good
like,
point.
we can shut it down. If you're in a group and there's a mean mom, you can shut it down. You don't have, it's like the mean girls, like, it's the popular girl who's super mean. Why do we let that still happen? Why do we all want to be that person's friend? Like, you can shut that down.
It's funny. And I don't think these girls were being, I know these women, they're not mean moms by any means, but we did have this situation that, up at the school, like, oh, they'll call it different things like elephant walks or senior walks where like seniors come back and look at their elementary school, you know,
Yeah.
like when seniors graduate and then they come
Right.
back and they look at their elementary school. Well, this girl showed up. Her mother was total straight lace, looked like she stepped out of a Banana Republic catalog. And the girl, full on clown makeup,
Yeah.
full clown makeup, which I mean, we go to a really small religious school. Like, that's
Right.
going to
Right.
stand out.
That's gonna stand out.
And, and I didn't say anything to the girl when she checked in that I was like, man, I should have said something like, all right, tell me about the clown makeup. What's going on? Tell me, like, to make her feel more comfortable. But I'll never forget when they left, all the other moms were like, oh my gosh. And it clicked to me so soon that I was like, you know what? That's the argument the mom was willing to lose.
Right. Right.
That mom is dealing with so much right now
Yes.
that she doesn't care that her daughter showed up in clown makeup. She's like, nope, we're graduating. That's what we're doing. And I was like, more power to that mom.
Right.
That she probably needed some extra support. And everyone's like, yeah, you're right. And I always try to look at things like that whenever I see something that is, quote unquote, weird or different or something like that. I'm like, that's what that mom is willing to agree on.
Right. Right.
Or willing to sacrifice with. Of like, if you see a kid with, just underwear and a t-shirt on in the grocery store, guess what? That was probably a really big argument in the car.
Right. Exactly.
He has underwear on. You're welcome.
Right. Mom's at the grocery store getting food. Like, come on. Like, again,
Had
lower the bar. Lower the bar.
So at the end of the day, like you said, motherhood is heavy. We don't need to make it lonelier.
No, like let's always lead with positive intent, kindness, empathy, grace, because momming is hard. And like I said, we're all wiping butts.
Communications over assumptions. Communicate over assumptions.
And friendships that lift you, not shrink you.
Yeah, if you're in a relationship that is shrinking you, just get out of it.
Yeah.
There's no reason to have a confrontation. There's no reason to make it a mean person moment. Just get out of that. Just don't hang out with them anymore.
Right. And mean behavior stings because moms are already stretched thin enough. So like, let's be the community and bronze medal moms that includes others, not the one that leaves anyone feeling like they don't matter.
And if you're listening to this thinking, wow, I needed this, know that you are not alone.
You are not. And we will see you next time, bronze medal moms.
Thanks for listening to our moms on Bronze Medal Moms. Don't forget to subscribe, share with your friends, and leave us a review. We'd love to hear from you. See you soon.